What's going on? It's Connor from the Dolphins Dive, and in today's video, we are breaking down Week 1 matchup. Football is finally here, less than 2 days away. I'm stoked. I'm sure everyone else is. But in today's video, I'm just going to be breaking down the overall matchup, offense versus their defense, defense versus their offense, and then a prediction to end it. I will say, I apologize. I intend for these videos to probably drop on Thursday, and it's not going to be to the quality that I have set for the future. I had to work overtime this week, so I didn't have enough time to edit how I'm going to want to edit in the future. My edits are very bad. I don't really do much editing, but I want to get good at it so that these videos are more entertaining. But nonetheless, I appreciate you guys for tuning in, and I'm going to just get started. So first, quick little shout out, DolphinsDive.com. You get a Mike McDaniel McLovin mug, shirt, sweatshirt, two-a-time shirt mug, sweatshirt, all of that. Also, we have a new design dropping too, a Javon Holland design. So hopefully it's out by the time you're watching this video. If you're interested, check out the link in the description. But into the video. First, we're going to start with the Dolphins offense versus the Pats defense. Now, obviously, the Dolphins offense is new and exciting, running the Mike McDaniel wide zone, outside zone run scheme, which is very, very popular in the NFL now. Obviously, the Shanahan, McVay, LaFleur runs it, but not similarly. The Jets took their OC. It's all around the league. Reportedly, the Patriots are trying to run this as well. I don't know. I haven't been paying attention too much to the Patriots training camp, but that's the vibe I got. Watching the preseason game didn't necessarily look like that, but we'll see. People embrace it differently. But the biggest thing for this run is it's the same run out of different formations, with different motions. It's the same run that doesn't ever look the same. So it forces the defense to be on their P's and Q's, because the same run that they're ready to defend, they can run a boot action off of it and throw it over their head. So it forces their defense to either be timid to the run game because they can't react immediately, or it forces them to bite down on the play action game and you throw the ball over their head. So it's a really, really good scheme, hence the reason half the NFL runs it now. And I'm excited to see it in action, and I'm going to explain the pros and cons of it and where I see it going well. So, obviously, like I said, the run scheme to force the eye discipline, you play action game off of that, and then especially with the Dolphins offense, you have explosive threats anywhere. So you throw a slant to Jalen Waddle, to Tyreek Hill, it could be a touchdown. And that's something that we have never had before. Obviously, we had Jalen last year, but it was just him. Now we have two guys. Not to mention the slew of other talent. Our entire receiving corps got completely demolished. Same thing with the running backs for the most part. Like it's a new crew of weapons, and it's obviously much improved. Now, what to expect from the Pats defense? It's hard to predict, right? The Patriots, like our own defense, is very versatile. They're kind of game plan dependent. One game they're going to come out and run 4-3-6-1, which is what they did to the Rams in the Super Bowl. Next week they're going to run 7 DBs. Like they vary what they do on defense, game plan wise, and that's where the biggest threat is, because you give Mike McDaniel a week to sit in his fucking office for 23 hours a day to try and dissect the way that you run your formations and how he can get the small little spacing. He's going to do it, but if he doesn't know what they're going to run, it does give an element of surprise that could mess up our offense, and it's very valuable. Especially, I wouldn't say necessarily Bill Belichick specifically, but when Brian Flores was here, I kept making fun of my friends who, when they ran this kind of offense, that we always messed it up, because we trashed the Rams and we trashed the 49ers. Now, correlation, causation, not sure it's there. But the thing is, if you're able to stop the run, it could make them a little lopsided and then be only the pass. And how do you do when you do that? Now, I'm not necessarily worried about that with our offense, but the Pats defense is a legitimate threat. I don't want anyone to underestimate that. I don't want the Dolphins going 3-0 and everyone throwing in the towel. Like, the Patriots are always one of the best defensive teams in the league. They have probably the best defensive mind of all time. So we need to kill expectations in terms of our offense versus their defense. Their defense is very good. I'm expecting from them, obviously early downs are going to try and stop the run, but I feel like their main the formation that's going to get the most percentage of snaps played from them is probably like some kind of big nickel, which means there's two safeties on the field, or three safeties on the field rather. So it's like a nickel or dime defense with more safeties on the field. And it's called big nickel because regular nickel is usually three corners, two safeties, but a big nickel, safeties are generally bigger than the nickel. Sorry if that's a little watered down, but I just want to make sure that people understand that. So yeah, like I said, this is gonna be the biggest deciding factor I think in this game. Is our O going to be as good as we expect it, especially against an elite defense? I said elite and I kind of mean it. Patriots defense is always good, man. So the offensive keys for the game for the Dolphins: no turnovers. Like we said, Bill Belichick's gonna throw the kitchen sink at Tua. Tua's had general success. Now is it a little overstated? Yes, those were mainly defensive wins. With that said, Tua did a good job at not necessarily losing the game. He played within himself, especially considering his weapons. I know one of the games he won, his main receiver was Lynn Bowden. His main tight end was like, I don't even know. It might have been Durham. I don't know. He had his playmakers were awful. So he's done a good job at managing. I'll say that. So no turnovers. I think the Pats' offense is pretty bad. We don't want to give them extra chances to win. The way the Patriots want to play this game is they want to play defense and have their offense just take timely advantage, maybe get 1 to 2 drives a game. But it's really just going to be don't hurt the defense. That's the kind of offense I see them playing because that's how I've seen it. Establish the run, like I said. I think if you're able to establish the run in this offense, it's going to be a long night for the defense because not only do they have to key in on stopping the run, then they have to worry about everything off of that, and it's just going to be a nightmare, especially when you consider the two receivers the Dolphins have. Like, if you have to key in to stop the run and then you have the fastest receivers in the league running behind you, it's going to be a long day. And then last but not least, get the ball to the playmakers. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Mike Gesicki, Chase Edmonds, Cedric Wilson, the list goes on, and it's never been this deep. So get the ball out quick to playmakers in space, let them do what they do. I'm excited to see this offense. Now, offensive players to watch. Of course, I had to go with the boy Tua Tagovailoa for the first slot on this list. The other two, though, I went with a little different guys. One's maybe not so much a surprise, but I'm just excited to see what they do and how they work in this offense. Are they going to be good? Are they going to be liabilities? We'll see. So number 2 is Chase Edmonds. Now, I don't think Chase Edmonds is going to be bad whatsoever, but does he take the bull by the horns and run with this job and catch 5 passes a game and run for 100 yards? I don't know. There is going to be a strong backfield rotation, but I'm just excited to see Chase and how he operates and his usage. Last but not least, Austin Jackson. How does Austin Jackson work in this new system? Is he going to be getting pancaked every play? Is he going to be a menace in the run game? Because he's had some good film that he's put out there during the preseason. Now, he's been beat, sure, but I'm excited to see how he does. Do we have a functional right tackle, or are we still in deep shit? Because after watching that Bills game last night, I am concerned about facing the Bills. How are we going to hold up against them? So that's why I have Austin Jackson. So that's my offensive versus their defensive breakdown. I'm going to do their offense versus our defense breakdown, and then a prediction to wrap it up. I wanted this video to be like 10 minutes, but it does not seem like I'm going to be able to do that. That's on me. If you're still watching, I appreciate you. So, I perceive the Patriots as primarily going to be an 11 to 12 personnel, which is a little different. Usually they're mainly 21 personnel, which is 2 backs, 1 tight end. But they've gotten rid of their fullback, so I primarily see it, like I said, being 11 and 12 with Jonnu and Hunter Henry in the 12 personnel. But even when I was watching some of the preseason game, a lot of it looked like it was 11. So we'll see how they do. I think their offense is pretty meh. They lack explosive plays. They lack any kind of threat. Like I said, they're trying to play mistake free, trying to have long drive. They're gonna have to have long drives. They're not gonna have explosive drives. Their drives are gonna be predicated on not making mistakes, like moving the chains. That's how they have to play, and it's hard to play like that in this league. But this is how the Patriots are. They're going to try and let their defense do their thing and then try and put up minimal points they're not trying to put up minimal points, but they're going to put up minimal points with the way they play. Because they're not going to be aggressive. They're trying to protect the ball, trying to stay, like, move the chains. Let's see. They aren't explosive. They're going to be a run-first team with a quick passing game off of it. Like I said, it's going to be pretty meh. And honestly, like, I only watched preseason week 3, but, like, I watched, like, the first quarter, and their O-line didn't look as good as I was used to seeing it. So, I just, this offense, I think it's as bad as the reports are making it out to be. Like, their top receivers who Kendrick Bourne, Devontae Park, like, it's just not there. You know what I'm saying? Now, like I said, they are going to run the ball. So that is the big thing. They are good at running the ball. So we have to make sure that we can key in and stopping that. Now, Dolphins defense-wise, I feel strong about it. We know how we play. A lot of man coverage, a lot of blitzes, especially on third down. Early down, it's going to be a lot of, like, 3-4 base defense. And then as they go 11 personnel, we'll see a lot of more, like, nickel, big nickel, depending on how they want to play. If they want to have Brandon Jones, Eric Rowe both on the field or not. Now, our run defense is always hit or miss. Like, last year, our run defense was good for, like, majority of the season, and then we play the Titans get gashed. Like, we can't afford for that to happen this week. We'll lose. We don't want that happening. And obviously, this is Josh Boyer's first time being the lone defensive guy. Now, granted, I believe he was calling plays last year, but he also had Flores with him. He also had a different staff. Now it's all on him, and I'm curious to see how that goes. I think it'll be good, but you don't know until you know. So that's the defensive breakdown. So I'm going to go into the keys of the game for the defense, and then prediction, we're going to be out of here. So obviously, I emphasized it in the previous portion, but the first key of the game is to stop the run. This is their only hope offensively on beating us. Like I said, passing game-wise, they just lack explosive playmakers. I just don't think they have enough talent. But if they are able to run the ball, and we have to make sure we can stop that, because if not, they'll just hand the ball off every play and run it down our throats. So that's the biggest key. Second key, rallying tackle. They lack explosive players. Don't give them free plays where they break off for 30, 40 yards. Stop them in their tracks. Because, like I said, they lack explosive players and plays. Like, don't give them free ones. And then third, I don't even know if this is a key to the game. This is probably more of a mantra for the Dolphins defense, but it's disguise and pressure. You know how the Dolphins love to do. They love making it look like man, then it's zone, vice versa. And Mac Jones is still young, despite how ahead of the time he may seem. Try and confuse him. We got a pick 6 last game off of him. That was Xavier disguising his zone. Like, let's ride. Disguise the coverage, pressure him, pressure burst pipe. So those are the keys to the game. Players to watch. Cornerback 2. So with Byron out, we don't know who cornerback 2 is. It's up in the air. Some people saying Keon Crossan. I personally think it's going to be Noah Igbenogany, and I know that gets a lot of Dolphins fans riled up, but I think he's a lot better than a lot of people think. You see him get cooked, but you don't see all the good plays that he did prior. He's been in the system for a long time. I just think that's who they're going to go with. I wouldn't be upset if they go Keon Crossan. Keon Crossan had a great camp. I feel like they probably just feel more comfortable with Igbenogany. Second player to watch, Christian Wilkins. We're expecting a huge year for him in year 3, I think. I don't even know. All these years. Year 4, sorry. Year 4, Christian Wilkins. We're all expecting him to take a huge leap. And he's going to be big in the interior of the defensive line to help stop the run. And then if he can have extra pass rush off of that, that'll be huge. And third but not least, Javon Holland. How does he help disrupt this pass game? Like I said, biggest thing is going to be trying to stop the run. You want to load the box up, maybe play one high safety. How does he operate? We all know he's very good in that, but he's got to be able to control in general, be the general of the center field. I think he'll be able to. So, optimist at heart. I think we're going to win. Dolphins are favored, though. I just want to make it clear, like, the Patriots are still good. Despite the fact that I think the Dolphins are a clearly better team, Patriots are still good. They still have Bill Belichick. They're still going to play great defense. They're always going to be a threat. This is 100% a losable game. With that said, I have the Dolphins winning 31-13. But I want to emphasize that there is a chance where the Patriots come out, run the ball down our throats. Their defense locks us up. Now, like I said, do I think that's going to happen? No, but there's absolutely a chance that happens because of how good the Patriots can be. I just think that the Dolphins are the better team this year. I think they're going to be able to operate and execute at a high level. But there's a chance that the Patriots, as underdogs, show out and beat us. And the season's not over if that happens. Like, it's unfortunate, and we're expecting to win. But the Patriots are still a very solid team. We can't underestimate them. Which my prediction was a little disrespectful. I should have probably boosted it, the Patriots score a little bit, but I really don't like their offense. So that's the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like and subscribe. Comment your records or your score prediction in the comments below. And until next time, I'll catch y'all.